Hello and welcome to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout. My name is Joe and today I'm joined by Fantasy Football Scout Deputy Editor Tom Freeman, who will be revealing his Game Week 26 team. We'll also look back at his Double Game Week 25 so far with one more match to go, Villa taking on Liverpool, and we'll look at who he might use his assistant manager chip on this time around. It's currently in play. He may or may not stick with Emery next time out. Will he play it safe or will he go for that lucrative table bonus? Welcome, Tom. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Joe. Yeah, it's been a busy morning. We've had the slot presser at first today, and Emery is going to be talking later this afternoon. So we've got UCL fantasy as well. So lots going on, but yeah, it's all okay. Yeah, you okay?
Yeah, all fine, which is good. So just a reminder, do press that like button. It does help us out, and do remember to subscribe to keep up to date with our latest videos and podcasts. Okay, so I've got a lovely green arrow. You got a lovely red arrow, but they're small for both of us.
Yeah.
We're pretty much got grey arrows. We've just got so there's not much in it at all. A couple more points and that arrow will turn green for you, and a couple more points the other way turn red for me. So let's see how you're getting on so far. 52 points. It says you made 2 transfers. Do you want to just run through your team and who was new in? I think it may have been Trossard. I don't think he was in before.
Correct. Yeah, that's right, Joe. Yeah, so 52 points. We've obviously still got one game to go, but for now I've got Sells 3 points. Alexander-Arnold got the early substitution and the clean sheet with 6. Got Gabriel's 6 and I got Munoz's 1. Salah got 16 as captain. Palmer 2. Rodgers 2. He was a bit unlucky on Saturday. He's still got the one game to play though. Then Trossard, who I did bring in, got 6 and Semenyo got 4. Gakpo didn't play.
Nope.
Doesn't look like he's going to play tomorrow either. And then Isak up front with 2. But I have got Collins first on the bench with 8. So that's quite nice because it's unlikely he's going to play. So at least I get some points coming in. So the transfer was Anthony Gordon to Trossard. I was very close to getting Ranieri, but I went with Trossard in the end. And 6 points, which is good. And I did Moyes to Emery with the second free transfer with the assistant manager.
Okay, So I mean, I was agonising over my bench decisions all week, and in the end, I just benched Gakpo in the end because
I spotted that. Yeah,
because I thought the risk. I thought, okay, he's not going to play the first game. I did talking to Neil. He wasn't in any team training. Very unlikely he was going to play that Wolves game. So then it was just simply down to Chris Wood, who was first on my bench, versus Fulham, or Gakpo against Aston Villa. And I thought Chris Wood was better. So I actually thought Gakpo might be. I also thought there was a risk he might be on the bench and come on for 1 minute against Villa.
Well, there still is a bit of that. I think if I had got a better first sub, or at least I thought I had a better first sub, I might have done similar. But Collins, I didn't really think they'd keep a clean sheet away at West Ham. But it's kind of nice to have that there just in case. And still got a bit of a chance for table bonus with Emery tomorrow. Liverpool are the favourites for sure. But you never know with Villa at home in an evening game. We might nick a point or something, and then suddenly it's a really great result.
I'm hoping so. I've also got Emery as my assistant manager. I've also got Rodgers there, who did really well. It was the highest XG of the week. But he only got 2 points.
Yeah, I mean, I took my son along again on Saturday, and it was one of those where we just couldn't quite believe what we were watching. I mean, Rashford came on, made a real impact. Rodgers forced some really good saves from Palmer, the new keeper, and it just wouldn't quite roll for us. But hopefully, we'll have better fortune tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you've already had a bit of fortune. Alexander-Arnold coming off in the 64th minute, and then they conceded the 67th. And also Collins, he's your lucky charm. He's been in there for ages. People mock you for this. No, they don't really. But they think Collins. I mean, but every time we do this, he's got 7 or 8 points either on your bench or on your team.
Yeah, he's never been really a priority transfer out because he's like 4.5 million and I've always had other things to do, but he's actually got a little bit of attacking threat from set pieces and Brentford have been decent. I think they've won 3 in a row away from home now. They've got Leicester on Friday, so he's probably going to play this week for me as well. So yeah, he's been a decent buy.
Okay, so one of the key decisions is you've got Emery as your assistant manager, but you might change him. You might keep him as well. So let's have a look at what we're looking at this week. So what I've got here is I've got a list of the fixtures. I put a little table graphic over 2 games that could be. There were 4 or 5 where you could get table bonus, but some of them I think are unrealistic.
Yeah.
And others I think are slightly realistic. I've also got a best attacks for the last 6 matches, so the latest good attacks are, and the worst defences last 6 matches, see what those worst defences are. So straight off the bat, you've got Emery.
Yeah.
Are you minded, given watching Chelsea against Brighton the last couple of games against Brighton,
Yeah.
how awful they are, and given how Aston Villa, I think, were very unlucky to do. I mean, knowing my team Brighton drawing against Ipswich, when they want to defend, they really defend.
That's exactly right, Joe. That's exactly what my son said to me. Who's a lot, who's young. He hasn't watched much of Ipswich, but they set up well and they set up to frustrate us and did it successfully.
They did the same here. So I'm personally on Emery, and I'm wondering if I just Aston Villa at home against Chelsea. There's no table bonus, but I might just keep that transfer and maybe get 10 points. I'll be happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm probably going to stick now. I'm in a different situation that I've got 7 players in blank game week 29 currently, and one of those players is Everton's Undiai, who might not be fit for that one. So I've got 4 free transfers between now and 29. So I really need to focus on the players, I think, rather than the manager. And I don't mind Emery. I think for those reasons that you just said there, Joe, I think that there's a good chance we get a result in that.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd switch Emery for one of the safer choices, like an Arteta or Hertzler maybe, Iraola. They're probably the safest 3, aren't they, I suppose? The only thing I did have a look at is the table bonus teams. And I don't know about you, Joe. I would consider Glasner if he is in line for table bonus potentially, and it is a big if at the moment because he won't be available. He won't be eligible if Villa beat Liverpool tomorrow.
Yeah, because if Villa beat Liverpool tomorrow, then there's no table bonus, so there's no gap.
Fulham would drop to 9th, and I think I'm right in saying Palace are 13th. So that wouldn't be an opportunity.
But people look at that. Ordinarily, I would say Glasner, maybe, but it's Fulham. I think Fulham are better than Palace. I just think. I mean, I suppose this is the assistant managership in a nutshell, really, is that risk and reward. So you go for that, and the rewards of getting that table bonus of Crystal Palace defeating Fulham. But I don't think there's going to be a bonus for clean sheet. I think there could be a draw. It could be a Crystal Palace victory. I see it 2-1 between Fulham and Crystal Palace. I don't know which side though, and because of
it's close.
It makes me not so keen. There are some other options. I've flagged up Ipswich against Spurs. Both our teams have been held by Ipswich. Spurs, I don't know which Spurs are going to turn up though. But if it's the usual Spurs we've known and loved as non-Spurs fans this season, then I would be saying, McKenna's going to get the nod here. But I don't know. I think Spurs are getting players back, and they might do. I mean, what do you think with that McKenna move?
I'm not as keen on that one because whilst Ipswich were organised at the weekend, I don't think they've got much in attack outside of Delap. And I think, like you said, Joe, I think Vicario's back for Spurs, Maddison's back for Spurs. They had more numbers, they had more options off the bench at the weekend as well, with Brennan Johnson and Odebear and Udogie and players like that. And I just wouldn't go in. I mean, it's the nature of the chip that I never think, if you're going to go for table bonus, I'd never think you're going to be that confident. But having watched those 2 teams at the weekend, and even watching Spurs the week before when we played them in the FA Cup, I don't think I would make that. Knowing the position that I'm in with free transfers and how precious they are, I wouldn't go to McKenna.
No. The other one I flagged up, which I don't fully rule out, is Wolves against Bournemouth. There's a table bonus there for Wolves. Yeah. Bournemouth are great at the moment. They're defensively solid. They're attacking. But Wolves, I think, are really good. and they could, as Nottingham Forest did at Bournemouth, as Brighton did, there is the possibility that a good team with a good striker like Cunha or good sort of
Yeah.
attacking player like Cunha could do damage. It's a big risk, though. I probably wouldn't go there, but it's another one I think is worth considering.
Yeah, I mean, Wolves went to Fulham earlier this season and surprised us all, didn't they? And beat them convincingly. I don't think it's that likely given the way Bournemouth are
No.
playing at the moment. They're in a very good moment. They don't concede many goals at home. Um, but I would probably favour that over McKenna, I think.
Yeah.
And I think Glasner, just going back to him, I think that Palace's away form has been much better this year.
Yeah.
If like Eze were to be fit, they've got Sarr, they've got Mateta, they've got players who can hit you quickly on the counter attack. I do think that would be the one that I would go for if I was going to make the switch over McKenna or Pereira
Okay.
or Van Nistelrooy or something like that.
Okay. I mean, there are other bonuses like Leicester, for example. Against Brentford, I just think that's a Brentford win.
They're just so bad at the moment, Leicester, aren't they?
Southampton against Brighton, I think that's a Brighton win. And if anything, I would think a cheaper, safer bet, 4 points, not table bonus, could be the Brentford manager, could be the Brighton manager. But once again, I'm not that quite excited because Newcastle played Nottingham Forest. There's no table bonus. I don't know who's going to win that. Man City against Liverpool, no bonus. I don't know who's going to win that either.
I think I'd go, if I really wanted that safe bet, I think I'd go Arteta because I think Arsenal will beat West Ham. But some of the others, like you say, they're not really easy to call.
No, and I also think with Arteta against West Ham, Mourinho did well in the sort of striker role, but they are still a little disjointed, Arsenal. West Ham, I don't know. They you would imagine are improving. I still think Emery against Chelsea is probably as good.
Yeah, the gap between them maybe isn't quite enough to use up a transfer on that. I would be surprised if I move off Emery
Yeah.
and let's see how Villa look tomorrow. If we're completely ripped apart on the counter attack and we struggle defensively, we might have to rethink this one.
Yeah.
But certainly going on what I've seen from Villa all season at Villa Park, I think I'm content to keep it on him.
Yeah, I think that's what I would do as well. But we've given some other options there. I'll go through these stats as well in a second. But the other question I wanted to ask is: say you've put the assistant manager on slot.
Yeah.
Now Liverpool away to Man City. Man City were great against Newcastle, but Liverpool are better than Newcastle. So, would you just stick with slot? I hope they can beat Man City, or would you move it on perhaps to Arteta for another safe bet, or even if you wanted to go for a table bonus?
I think if you've got a free transfer and it's not quite as precious as the situation I'm in, I would consider moving it off him. Just because City have players, as bad as they've been, they've got players that can really hurt Liverpool. Mamouche looked really good at the weekend. Haaland, obviously, you got Foden there. I might be tempted, but again, it depends. If your free transfer needed to build a team towards 29, so you can save the free hit, then maybe keep it on him.
Yeah, I mean that's why I don't particularly need to save the transfer for Emery. I could move Emery to someone else, but I just can't see anyone particularly stand out over Emery. So
fair enough.
But I can with slot though. Just because it's Man City. Don't know. I'll just read out some of these stats though, just to help out. So we were looking at who are the best attacks? Well, so if you're tempted by Van Nistelrooy, look away because Brentford are the top attack over the last 6 matches, minutes per expected goal involvement every 45 minutes, and they've got 10 goals over that period. So whilst Man City have 20 goals over that period, they've got the same expected goals. So Brentford have been very unlucky there. So that would put me off Nistelrooy as well. Other strong attacks, well, Man City are the second best, Liverpool the third every 48 minutes. So it's pretty much under 50, an expected goal involvement under every 50 minutes. So City, Liverpool, that's why I can't call it. That's why it's tricky if you've got slot there. Chelsea, actually quite a strong attack every 53 minutes. But I think it was on Planet FPL, they were reading out a stat where it was Palmer had 32 chances that hadn't resulted in any goals.
Yeah. I mean, he hasn't had an assist from open play,
No,
an Opta assist anyway, for quite a long time, has he? But
no,
they're obviously missing Jackson.
yeah,
The backup to Jackson is out as well.
yeah,
The Nkunku Palmer experiment didn't work
no.
particularly well against Brighton, did it,
No,
on Friday, Joe?
no, no, definitely. So there's something going on there. Palmer's good, but Chelsea aren't. And then looking down at Aston Villa as well, this slightly puts me off against Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
Aston Villa minutes per expected goal every 77 minutes, but they have, as you testified, they have had their chances. So
I would say as well. I mean, I think that Rashford's come in,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Asensio's
yeah,
coming in,
much
Marlon's
better now.
settling. We seemed in that second half to be creating
Yeah,
chances quite freely against Ipswich. We just couldn't put the blooming ball in the back of the net. But yeah, whilst I don't think we're one of the top 4 or 5 attacks in the league, I would probably put us above
yeah.
mid-table.
And whilst Arsenal could be a good bet for the assistant manager, so some of the worst teams, the worst attacks, Leicester, just 3 goals, minutes per expected goal involvement every 122 minutes. Ipswich, just 5 goals every 113 minutes of goal involvement for them. Southampton every 113 as well, 7 goals. West Ham, 6 goals every 97 minutes. So they're not averaging an expected goal, rather, every 90 minutes. So
No.
that's poor.
Yeah.
Tottenham pretty poor, but they have had they are getting bodies back at the back, which will help the attack as well, because they definitely need those. They need better defenders to prevent attacks and free up those attacking players. Meanwhile, worst defences. Well, Southampton, they are the worst. They've conceded 18 goals, minutes per expected goal conceded every 37 minutes. They're in a league of their own in awfulness there, which is why, I mean, although Southampton did hold Brighton last time, so knowing Brighton, they can beat Chelsea and Man City rather, and Manchester United, but they draw against Southampton and Ipswich there. Sorry for that tapping, my earphone just came out, if you could hear that. And also Manchester United poor as well, for every minutes per expected goal, every goal conceded every 49 minutes.
There's a scenario with them playing Everton that we all look back and think, why did we not just keep the assistant manager chip on Moyes?
Exactly. Yeah, so I mean, he wouldn't have got much this week. Perhaps Emery won't.
Yeah,
But this week here, like the game at 26, yes, Everton against Manchester United. Maybe we just keep him there, save the transfer, and he would have done well. I mean, he certainly did well in that first double as well.
Well, they beat Palace as well at the weekend, didn't they? So
Yeah.
he would have picked up some.
So
points
yes,
for
he
that.
would. Sorry,
So,
yes, he would have got
yeah,
points from that. Yeah, of course.
He could end up winning
Yeah.
3 games and drawing 1 against Liverpool. So
Yeah,
we
sorry, I
could.
was thinking of the draw, which is still table bonus for that draw against Liverpool.
Yeah.
But maybe yes, I'm sure we will. I'll look back on this and think I should have just kept it on Moyes.
Maybe,
but
I mean,
Emery.
we've got to chase the extra game, and that's why we did the Emery move.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
because of the double game week, wasn't
And
it?
there's no table bonus here because Everton are actually a place higher than Manchester United, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they've really rocketed up the table, haven't they,
Yeah.
since Moyes came in? So no table bonus on offer there.
Okay, just when we finish up, we'll have a look at next week then. So both of us are thinking of keeping the system managership on Emery. Meanwhile, let's have a look at your team here. You don't have any transfers, sort of free transfer. You just got the normal one transfer.
That's right, Joe.
But what? So what are you planning? I mean, it looks good. Doesn't need a transfer, I don't think. But do you want to just run through your team and any sort of decisions that you've got?
Yeah, so I've got Sells in goal away at Newcastle. I've got 3 at the back. I've got Alexander-Arnold at Man City, Collins, who will come in for the trip to Leicester on Friday, and Gabriel at home to West Ham. Then got 5 midfielders. I've got Salah at Man City as my captain, Palmer at Villa, Rodgers at home to Chelsea, Trossard at home to West Ham, and Semenyo at home to Wolves. Then got Gakpo away at City, Isak at home to Forest. Emery assistant manager, and then the subs Fabianski, Hall, Munoz, and an injured Undiai.
Right. Yeah.
So I've got 1 free transfer and I've got 1.4 million in the bank. Now I've got a few options. Now in a scenario where Gakpo is out, I could potentially move him on to somebody like Cunha. And that helps towards game week 29. I don't think Cunha's got a great fixture this week away at Bournemouth. but it would get an extra body in. If Gakpo is ruled out, I could actually do Undiai to Cunha as well. And that would mean then I could bench Gakpo and keep him for back-to-back home games against Newcastle and Southampton. But that doesn't really help me for 29.
No.
So I think the Gakpo, a lot will depend on that. Obviously, Slot spoke this morning and said he was close. So let's see what that looks like at the end of the week, and then go from there. If Gakpo's fit, I'll probably play him against Man City, and maybe save a transfer.
Yeah, I mean, I've got Gakpo as well. I'm benching him this week.
Okay.
Because I do urge people to have a look at my video, my team reveal video, and the podcast as well, version of that. I looked in more detail really at the sort of Gakpo options, who to get in for him. Marmoush is in consideration, and Cunha. So they're the two I'm thinking of. But I go through a whole bunch of other options as well. But Marmoush and Cunha definitely for me. But I'm not urgent about either of them, and I'm just giving myself a bit more time. So I'm just going to sort of park Gakpo for a while.
Yeah, and we know what Gakpo can do at Anfield as well. His home form's been ridiculously good this year. So you might want to just save that transfer until 29 and do it then.
I think I probably will. I've got Rodgers as well, and I think looking at the fixtures, Aston Villa, they've got Crystal Palace away, Brentford away, so they're okay. But he's also benchable. Rodgers over Gakpo is benchable. I actually like Rodgers at home to Chelsea this week, given his XG. So I'm minded to play him.
I think any team which will be a bit more attacking, will create space for Rodgers. Ipswich didn't really suit him. He had a few chances, but he didn't get much chance to actually receive the ball and drive into space because Ipswich was so organised and deep with 10 men. And fair play to them for that. But this is we saw at home against Man City, the damage that Rodgers can do. So I'm playing him this week, and fairly confident on that. So.
Well, good luck with your game week, especially because you've got so many players similar to me. So special good luck there. And we'll be back again next week ahead of game week 27. The game weeks are really flying by at the moment. But
we've got a midweek deadline next week.
It is, isn't it? It is. So that's taking place on Tuesday. So I think I'm assuming that we'll still record on a Tuesday. So hopefully we'll better get something out then. And also there'll be team news that day as well. Excellent. Thanks a lot for your time, Tom. Take care, and see you soon.
Thanks, Joe.